Hi everybody, Andy Wax, Wood and Leather Doctor, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and it's another guitar video for you. So if you're not interested in guitars, but it involves woodwork, so hey, maybe you'll like it. I don't know. Let's see. This is a Michael Kelly telecaster, and the thing that makes this one kind of unique is that it has an active piezo pickup here in the bridge, and allows this thing to sound very much like an acoustic electric guitar. So if you want to take one guitar on stage, instead of bringing an acoustic as well, this does a pretty good job of faking it. The only thing about this is that it's kind of heavy. So I didn't weigh it before. I should have. I got lazy and I didn't. But when I looked up online how much on average these guitars weigh, it was 10.23 pounds. And I thought it was kind of heavy. And as much as I love the sound and love the feel of this guitar, the weight kind of got to me. So I went online and saw a couple videos, and a lot of people had a lot of interesting ideas, but I'm going to just tell you and show you a little bit about what I did. And well, let's get to it. Okay, and because I am really not a luthier by any stretch of the imagination, have a hard time setting up intonation and making the guitar play right, I was really afraid to take out any of the hardware or the electronics when I went to carve this thing up, so I didn't. So I slackened all the strings, and I took the screws out of the pick guard here, because I can do that, and just moved the whole thing out of the cavity, and there was about this much area that was still solid wood that I thought the guitar could lose and wouldn't make it sound any different. The internet assures me that it wouldn't, so hey, the internet never lies, right? And so I took a Forstner bit and just went at it. And I figured, so I measured this, let's say this was 2 inches. So I figured, all right, 1.5 inches is probably plenty, because I really didn't want to go through, through the body. So took this off and just took the Forstner bit with an electric drill and just zipped as much as possible and cleared as much material out of here as possible. So after I did that, I did some over on this side as well. And fortunately the pickguard covers the whole thing, so it's a mess in there. But it's, if I had used a router, probably would have been a lot cleaner, but there wasn't a really good way to control the router without making a jig so that it would slide nicely. And I didn't want to scratch the guitar, so I didn't do it, sue me. So I did that. And then on the other side, let's make sure that you can see this. Yeah. So on the other side, I did the same thing. I just took the bit and just zip, 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 and got all this wood out of here. And you can see it's not perfect. I actually, by hand, I used a router because I had to make a little bit of a shelf here so that the screws and the pick guard would sit flush into the cavity. So I had to use a router, and I did it by hand, and it actually came out pretty well. It's not perfect, but that's okay. It's on the back of the guitar and no one's going to see it, so that's fine. You can see there's a little bit of a, let's see if you can see this. So it's like over here, there's a little bit of a gap between the pickguard material that I used and the wood, but I painted it black anyway, so it's close enough for, well, it's close enough for me anyway. So I did that, and then I took some clear plastic, polycarbonate, and I painted the back of it. So the other side of this, I painted it black, spray painted it black, and then used my drill press to make room for the screws to go through and countersunk them. And yeah, I think it actually, from a distance, certainly it looks great, and it's in the back, so no one's going to see it. Here's the last thing that I did. It was better, but I figured well, in for a penny, in for a pound. So I started drilling some holes. So Michael Kelly, the manufacturer of these guitars, has a series called the Enlightened series. And they actually, besides making the guitar thinner and using lighter components, also drilled ports. And that's where I got the idea. And there's another guy on the internet, a British gentleman, luthier, that did the same thing around one of the guitars that he made. And he lightened it up quite a bit. So I thought well, I'm already in deep. So I just took the Forstner bit and marked a center line. I got pretty close. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good, and no one's ever going to see. So I drilled out all that wood material, and then just took some acrylic paint just to finish it off a little bit. So I did that, and now, so how much did I lighten this guitar? Well, I just did the math, and it looks like I lightened this thing by 2.5 pounds. So there was 2.5 pounds of wood that I was able to get out of this thing, and it's absolutely a lot lighter, and it's a lot more comfortable. So would I do it again? Yeah, I think I would. I know the British luthier that whose video I really studied a lot said he probably wouldn't. I don't think I ever will, but I didn't enjoy it, and it took a lot longer than I thought it would. And there were some touch-ups here and there that I had to do, but overall, I did not want to get rid of this guitar, and I wanted to play it more, and I didn't want weight to be such a problem. So I'm glad I did it, and I'm not apologizing. So if you have any questions about it, leave comments. Please feel free to subscribe and like and the alarm bell and all that stuff. Please do that. But otherwise, it turned out great. I'm pleased with it, and I hope this was helpful to anyone who has a really heavy guitar. The only thing that I would mention is that I bought this used. It was in perfect condition, and I think I bought it for around $400, so expensive, but not like crazy expensive. If it were a crazy expensive guitar, like if this were a Les Paul and I really wanted it lighter, I would sell it and buy a lighter one. But this was cheap enough that I figured, like, well, if I really goof it up, I'll swallow hard, but I'll be okay. But for something super expensive, yeah, I don't think I would have done it. So I'd ruin the value. So, but I don't plan on ever selling this guy. So that's it. Again, thanks very much for watching. And if you have any questions about what I did, leave comments. I'll be happy to reply. Thanks.